Hello, everybody, and welcome to this day 7 of a quest for 2000 rating on chess.com. And I try to do, so far, I've been trying to do one video a day in this quest for 2000. But with the holidays coming up in the end of the year, I may not be able to get as many videos out, every day like I want to. So just bear with me. Hopefully, after these holidays are done with, I'll be able to put out videos a lot more regularly. Also, I had some comments on the videos maybe being too long. So let me know what you think. Should I split it up into two videos? One where I play, one where I do the game review separately, so you can watch one or both. I don't really want to shorten the games down because then I might be rushing and the game quality won't be as good, and I might not have as much time to explain all the moves and everything to everyone. But leave comments with your opinion, what you think. All right, so before this video goes too long, let's begin here. All right, let's find an opponent and see what happens. All right, black again. Imagine that. I think I had white once out of the 7 days that I've played this. All right, so we'll play e5. Knight to f3. All right, knight to c6. All right, and now c3. All right, so that's interesting. This is the Ponziani opening, which I am not as familiar with. So, let's see here. Probably, this is already going to throw me off a little bit. Okay, so this is definitely another opening I'll have to brush up on. His plan with this is to push this c pawn up to c3, and then it backs up this d4 pawn push. So my first instinct is just to develop my other knight and attack this unprotected pawn, I guess. Then he's probably most definitely going to go here. Then if we capture, he'll be able to chase our knight. So do we bring our bishop out? If he pushes the pawn forward to d4 and we capture and he captures, then he'll just chase our bishop away, then our knight. Okay. Well, all right, let's just play something passive and safe, which I don't know, this is probably not the best move. Okay, so right away, he's attacking us. We probably want to break this pin. So let's go ahead and immediately break that pin. Okay. Well, we probably want to do that. Well, we may end up giving him the good pawn pair in the center there. Let's see. If we attack, he captures, we capture, we'll end up with doubled pawns. So I am going, I could capture his pawn. What is his rating? 1436. So if we have a draw, that'll help him. Let's see. Do we move here? Then he could attack us. At least that. Do we attack this? All right, I think we should do that and just attack his bishop. All right, so that helps us develop our queen. The problem is, what if he brings his queen down here? Attacking. So if our queen is here and he puts his queen here attacking this. All right, so that works. We'll just do that. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Might as well attack there. Get ready to pull our bishop out. All right, so as we wait, let's look at the position. We left that pawn here, so it's blocking his knight, but now he's attacking here, so that's not so good. I mean, I guess we could attack his knight, but is that best? Maybe we just attack there. All right, so okay. Well, now we can just go ahead and develop this bishop and then castle. All right. I don't know. There's a chance of us getting stuck here in the center of the board. Maybe if he starts breaking this center open, he's probably just going to push this pawn. If we capture, okay, so he does that. All right, let's go here. At least his knight is trapped in there. All right, so now what would be best here? Probably to capture this pawn. So we'll go ahead and do that. Then we could maybe attack his queen. Well, I don't know. Then that queen. All right, so he ends up doing that. We could just attack with our knight. Or we just attack his queen. This is the problem when you're stuck in the center of the board. All right. Well, if we move our rook attacking his queen, that still doesn't solve our problem. Well, what should we do? Do we go here? And, that's a possibility. We'll just go here and then maybe just attack his queen if he goes over here to protect. Then what? Okay, so if we go here to d7, attacking his queen, well then, he could capture us, and then our knight could move down, attacking his rook. And then maybe we'll be all right. But if we move our queen and he just moves his queen over and lines up on our he could just put more pressure on our rook here. So we probably need to just attack here. I don't know. That probably wasn't the best move. See, now he just puts pressure on that, and that's just going to cause problems. All right, so I guess I have to do that. Huh. Maybe we could have an interesting move if we jump this knight up here and attack his bishop. So now we're attacking his bishop. We're forking his rook and his bishop. So, what does he do with that? Ignore it? No, his rook is under attack, so he has to do something about his rook. What can he do with his rook? All right. So, what can be done here? What can be done? And he did have a crazy threat here. Let's see. Well, is that a threat or not? If he brings that rook over there, yeah, because the bishop can't take it. He could have added that, or excuse me, added his bishop here to c5 for an attack. Okay, so he goes over that way. Well, now, okay, what is the material? Are we even in material here? What can we do? Do we just capture this bishop? Then the queen recaptures, then we check. And he'll be pinned. If he captures us, then we capture, attacking his rook. All right. I don't know. I'm just trying to see if I want to go into that kind of end game. Well, I don't know. That looks like the thing to do. The easy way out is to just capture this bishop. The queen captures. Ooh, and then if we go here, can we use this bishop for some way here to our advantage? Capture. We still have this rook as well. All right. Well, yeah, now the video's taking too long, so capture. If he goes here, all right, I don't know. I'm thinking we just capture this bishop. So if we capture, and he recaptures with his queen, then if we move here, attacking his queen, if he captures us, we can recapture, attacking his rook. But I don't know, what will that give us? All right, anyway, I guess I'm doing that. That is what we will do. Okay, now, is there any advantage to checking the king up here? So check, he would have to come down to here. Then what can we do? I don't think there's a follow-up. You know, maybe I'm missing something and you all will find it. All right, I guess we're just gonna take the easy way here. All right, once again, I burned out so much time on those last few moves. So, I don't know. I was just trying to see if there was something we could have done. You know, hopefully, leave comments out there if you all find something that I missed. And I'm sure in the game review we'll see a lot of things that could have been played better. Okay, now I have to rush a little bit since I was sitting there thinking for so long. All right, what are his options? Well, he could move his king up here to protect the queen. He could maybe move his rook over to protect the queen. He could move the queen back. You know, he could capture our queen. So if he captures, then what do? We have to recapture towards the center with this pawn. You know, maybe he tries to attack here or down here. You know, and then we would have to block. Maybe block with our bishop. But then that would give him time. He still couldn't. Well, he could move his knight over here and come down that way. But our bishop would be able to capture it and double his pawns. All right. Well, not if our bishop was here. All right, so if he captures our queen, we recapture with the pawn, attacking his rook. You know, his rook could come back down here. Okay, so he decides, oh, well, now that helps us. So now, well, I guess not, because we're still pinned here. we are still pinned. But, I mean, I guess we could go here, then move our king to the other side. With this, is there a better move? Is there a better move? Now he'll probably just attack our rook over here. Huh, interesting. So he decides to do that. Does it gain me? Do I gain anything by capturing that? Let's see. Okay. Should we keep the rook or just capture there? You know, what do we gain? We probably need to do that. Then we could go after that pawn, bring our other rook out with check. Gain control of the open file. But, you know, how are we going to take advantage of this? Well, that knight is going to come out of there. We ought to fix these pawns here. Okay. So if he goes there, we might as well get on the light squares, the opposite colored squares of our bishop. That way our bishop can maneuver around. Okay, but we may have to... Oh, he could try and jump into there. All right. Well... we'll just continue our plan. If he jumps in here attacking this, we could try and just go up here. All right. So now, where do we want to go? Do we back up? His knight would be able to come down there. If he tries to jump up here with his knight. Let's say we go here, the knight jumps in. All right. Well, maybe we go after that knight now. Probably need to move our king up, but if he goes here and we have to move over, then what do we do? Or do we just stop the knight from being able to go there? If the knight does come down here, then what do we do? All right, let's push forward. Now he's probably going to go there. Does he have a threat? If he goes here, attacking, we can just move over. So we'll just do that. All right. Well, now what? We have to move the bishop, or do we just go here? Man, these tricky knights can be a problem. All right, we'll just do that. See what he does next. This game could just end up being a draw. All right, so now I have to go here to protect that. I guess if he jumps, well, now he can't jump back there. Now his knight is just trapped. Okay, so I guess that worked out for me. The knight is just kind of trapped there. Unless he moves here. All right, do I let him go after that? I should get his knight out of here. Just get that knight away from my position. So just get out of here, knight. All right. Now, do I go after this? Does that do anything? Or do I just push forward up here? Okay, let's say, where is this knight going? Just push forward here. Okay. Well, might as well just move forward. And see what he decides to do next. He could jump here, trying to go after this. All right. We'll just do that before I start running out of time here. All right, well. So I'm in check. I should do that to give him an isolated pawn, but now he has a passed pawn. So that could be bad. Well, what did he do that for? Now I can pick that pawn off. And now I should be winning just with this extra pawn here. All right, well, I guess he made a mistake in the end game, so now I should just be winning here. Because he'll have to, stop this extra pawn that I have. I can, go over here and pick off this pawn. Yeah, so he resigns. All right, so to keep this video from being, way too long, sorry I took a little bit longer there earlier in the game. I'll just do the quick game review, see what the computer says, and this usually just runs through the moves really quickly, so then I'll try and go back and do the analysis afterwards. All right, so it says that my opponent played with 80.5% accuracy. I played with 85.3. Let's see. So blunders, they had one blunder. And then we were pretty even. We both had two misses, we both had two mistakes, and one inaccuracy. So, pretty even game. I guess, I had, anyway, I played a little better. So, but that was still, I don't know, I thought it was going to end up a draw. Okay, so they go here. All right, I'll just blast through these moves because it just goes so fast it's hard to explain anything. I'll explain more in the analysis when we go back over it. So it looks like this was the way to win material here is to go after. So that was a good move, forking those two pieces. Then trading off was best. All right. Now this it did not like. It said, and I thought about that check with the rook, and it says I should have done that. So that's interesting. All right. We'll take a further look at that. Oh, and it says I should not have traded off here. And then finally I play that move and it still likes it. All right. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to take a look at this in the analysis because it did not like, how I played it earlier. So 18. So here we can take a look. My opponent played at a 1650 level, and it looks like I played at 1850. So I need to step that up a little more if I want to reach 2000. And it looks like 87.1 in the opening, and I had 87.3, so we were pretty even. In the middle game, 68.7 to 70.9. And then in the end game, 84.6 to 94.5. So looks like, just hanging on in the end game helped me. All right. What does it say? It says you had a pretty competitive game there. The opening was balanced. The middle game battle was fairly even, and your accurate end game play outshined your opponent. All right. So study those end games, everybody. All right. So let us take a look at the analysis here from the beginning, and we'll see, dig more into this. I'll try and go a little faster here today. I did have someone mention that the videos were probably taking too long. Okay, e4, e5, general solid, good opening moves, especially if you like tactics. You control the center. Now the opponent attacks the pawn in the center, so we protect the pawn, developing pieces at the same time. And now this Ponziani opening here with c3. So I don't see that as much, but I don't know. These days, everybody is playing all kinds of crazy stuff. I had a viewer send in a comment about the Bush Gas Gambit, and I don't think I'd ever had anybody play that against me, and it was very interesting. So that's something you could check out yourselves if you like wild tactical attacking chess. All right, so this move, you push this pawn forward to get ready to push your d pawn up here. And so, I probably did not play this correctly. Let's see, I played d6. Okay, this is a book move. Whether it's a good one, I don't know, but it's saying white is ahead by about half a pawn here. So I just fortify the center. And I don't know, I just played this because I wanted to be able to develop this bishop. And this maybe isn't the best move in the book moves. I mean, I guess we could go back and take a look at and see what the computer recommends. So here, interesting. It wants d5. And now that I think about it, when I played the Sicilian and somebody would play the c3 Sicilian, they're also recommended playing d5. So maybe I should have remembered that d5 would actually, according to the computer, give black a little bit of just a slight edge by playing d5 because this pawn is here. Let's say you play d5 and they capture and your queen comes out early. Well, because of this pawn here, the knight cannot harass your queen immediately. And, the queen would be in the center. And so, I don't know, if they push this, the queen would just kind of help with holding the center. But anyway, before I get too deep into that and drag this video out any longer, I played d6. So I will have to go back and look at my repertoire and see what the best thing is to play against the Ponziani and what I want to do with that. And so I don't know what you all do for your opening repertoires out there. If you just put everything in your computer, or don't do anything and just play whatever. I like to try and just go one move deeper when I'm learning a new opening repertoire. If I get to a point and I don't know what to play, I just go back and review the game and then maybe put it on index cards, write that move down on an index card. Now you can do it on your phone or computer, but the actual writing helps you remember it a little bit more. And so then you can put your new move down on the index card and just try and learn one move deeper in that opening every time you come up on that opening, and eventually you'll learn more and more of the opening and build out your repertoire. All right, so pinning this bishop moves up here to b5, pinning my knight, and it says that's a book move. So here it recommends a6, attacking immediately, knight to f6, or bishop to d7. So that's what I played. The third best move, just breaking the pin here. And now we've transposed into the Ruy Lopez Old Steinitz defense. So that's pretty interesting how the game changed from the Ponziani into the Ruy Lopez. Okay, so now he presses forward, trying to build up this big pawn center, and let's see, I go ahead and capture, and it says that is a mistake, and now it is plus 1.2 in white's favor. So what should I do here? Instead, it looks like knight to f6 would have been the best move. So knight to f6. I'm just looking at that because now it looks like he could capture my knight with his bishop, and then if I recapture, he could go ahead and capture here. It looks like I would be losing a pawn, although I guess I could. Can I capture his pawn? Well, let's take a look at that. So if I play f6, what if he just captures here? And then I recapture, and then what if he does this? Now if I capture here, which it says is the best move, well, now it's saying black is in the lead here. So what about queen captures? Then of course rook captures. Okay, well, I end up with this pawn anyway, I guess. Okay, let's get back to the game here and see what we should have done. All right. Is it me, or have they changed the look of the the moves here. Something seems different about the way the moves are written out on the screen here. All right, in the game, I capture. That is a mistake. So we see that I should definitely not have done that. So they capture this way, and that is a miss. So now the game is about even again. So if we go back and look at that, they definitely, excuse me, should have captured with the pawn, because now they have a great strong pawn center here. Now the c3 square is not blocked by a pawn. His knight can jump out here and get in the game. And here white is just ahead by, here the computer says plus 0.63, and up here it even says plus 1.27. So anyway, that is definitely the better move, is to get that strong pawn center. All right. So in the game, we had capture, knight captures. Now it says that bishop to e7 is the best move. What did I do? I moved this way, which, what does it say about that? Now it says white is in the lead. So if we go back, it looks like, very interesting. It says I should have just captured here and gave him the strong pawn center. Let's see. Actually, hold on. It is not saying that. It's saying bishop to e7, knight to f6, or even g6. So I guess it doesn't mind if I get doubled pawns here. All right, so I go here, and it's saying that knight to e5 is good, but knight, so actually it does want me to take that knight. I should have just captured the knight up here. So moving on, the bishop captured, so we just exchange off here. The queen comes up, and so that's the best move, because now I have a queen developed. So I have two pieces developed, and he only has one, but now he's castled, so we're about even. I developed my knight, although it says I should have pushed the pawn here. So he attacks. I retreat. Just develop, capture, capture, and he pushes forward. The computer says this is an inaccuracy, and now black is -1 in the lead here. So one pawn's worth of material in the lead. And looks like knight did d2. Just developing the knight would have been better. All right, so capture. That is best. Rook captures. And here it says it would have been better to capture with the pawn. White would end up with an isolated pawn. But, I mean, I guess the bishop could come out and protect that pawn. Perhaps. Well, I don't know. That's usually an isolated pawn. There's still some pieces on the board, but the more pieces you trade off, the person left with the isolated pawn, it's going to be harder to defend that pawn in the end game, especially if that isolated pawn is way up here. All right, so let's see. So here, capturing with the pawn would have been better. It would have at least chased my knight away, and then maybe they would have tried to push the pawn further up the board. All right, so this is the best move, taking the open file, attacking the queen. So the queen just doubles up with the rook here, creating a battery, lining up on my bishop. And it said that knight to d2 would be better, just developing another piece. So, I have to play this to protect the bishop that's pinned to my king, unless I don't know, try to bring the queen over, but this was the best move with the rook. All right, so here the bishop, I guess this bishop was trying to move down here to c5 and add another attacker. My queen cannot, uh, well, or could, no, my queen wouldn't be able to attack that bishop because it's protected by the rook. So, I don't. I guess that's what his plan was there. And it says that's a mistake. So now white is pretty, or excuse me, black is pretty much winning. So in this position, after bishop to e3, once again it preferred getting that knight out. And then I play this, knight to g4. So I assume that's the best move. Yes, knight to g4 is the best move in this position, forking the bishop and the rook. And now it says once again, knight to d2 is the better move, the best move. Interesting. So, if he tried to move this rook, can this rook even go anywhere? Um, all right, I guess if you tried to move the rook here, the pawn could attack it, but then it would go down here. So I don't know. What happens if you just move the rook? I guess. Let me see if there are any better moves. So I don't know. What do you all think? If this rook is moved out of here, let's see what happens, what the computer recommends if you go here. Well, after this move, it says that's a good move, but recommended now is for black to just capture here. The queen would have to capture, and then rook to d1 up here, check. All right. So that's a little bit like what happened in the game. So in the game, well, let me go back here. Oh, actually, maybe that's exactly what happened in the game. All right. Okay, I'll try and speed this along. Sorry about that. I think that's exactly what happened in the game. So the rook did go there. I captured, and of course the queen captured. And now I make a miss here. So it is saying that I should immediately have checked with my rook up there on d1. So let's take a look at that. Let's see. So it wants rook to d1 with check. Okay, and then the king's the only option here. King to f2, and then oh, very interesting. Now it just wants me to castle, and so here's a tactic that I didn't even notice. I could have just castled here. So the best move is to castle. And now it wants, well, this is crazy. Now it wants knight to d2. But I mean, it looks like you just capture this rook here. And it's saying that that's the best move is knight to d2. Queen takes e7. After that, maybe I should take a look at both of these. Oh man, yeah, I got to take a look at this real quick because these are some crazy tactics. So first we'll look at knight to d2. So it's saying that this should have been played as the best move, which seems crazy because it looks like you can just pick this rook off, although that rook is kind of trapped there. So now we have, let's see, bishop to h4 check. Bishop to h4 check. Okay, I guess if you're going to give up material, now it's saying g3, blocking and attacking the bishop. And here the best move is to just go ahead and capture, because if the pawn captures, well, then it just breaks apart the kingside pawn cover. So, then you have capture here. It looks like the best move is to go ahead and capture, but now all these pawns are just broken apart here, and the king doesn't have as much cover. And now it looks like rook to e8 to just go ahead and attack the queen. So, I don't know, pretty interesting stuff here. Queen to d4, just moving out of the way. It looks like that's what the computer says is best. All right, so I'm going to go back a little bit here and see what the other option was. So queen takes e3, and then let's see, what did we look at? Rook to d1 was best, and then the computer said the king, of course, has to move, and then after castling, we looked at knight to d2, which looked crazy. But if the queen would have just captured here, well, then we have rook to e8. And I guess another option looks like, well, that's the best option. Just capturing or attacking here. And now, this is nuts. It says that the best move is to just capture. So capture. Of course, the queen's going to capture. And let's see, rook to e5. Okay, anyway, black is ahead. So let's speed this video up and finish. Sorry, before I get so sidetracked that we're going to end up with a 2-hour video. All right. So after the queen had captured the knight up here, so if we go back, we had this fork. The knight is forking both of these pieces. The rook moves away. We capture, the queen captures, and then we made the mistake here with this move. Instead, we should have checked with our rook up here. Then we had rook to e5. And so this is a blunder here. So why is this a blunder? Well, it looks like, let's see, black has capturing here on b2, and now there's a trapped rook in there. And it looks like that is the winning move here that I overlooked. So capture with a trapped rook. And now it's recommending queen to e2. Just attacking. But the queen's going to come in here and pick off this. Oh, man. Yeah, so I overlooked that. The best move, according to the computer, is queen to e2. Queen captures. And then, let's see, c2. So the problem is the queen is blocked in here. But now I can go ahead and castle, which is the best move. And what do we have next here? Looks like h4 is the best move. But now, let's see, bishop. Actually, it wants bishop to f6. So, the queen would be able to get out of there eventually. So now it's saying rook to e4 to get on the opposite color squares of this bishop. And let's take a look here. So, oh, okay. Well, this right here, bishop takes c3, because the knight is pinned to the king. And so now we have capture with check. And, in this position, black is just ahead. 2 pawns and a rook. So easy win for black. So I overlooked that. So I have to step it up if I want to reach 2,000, that's for sure. All right, so capture. Let's take a look at that. So I capture, he recaptures, which is best, of course. And then finally, I get this rook move in that it's been wanting for a long time, but now I don't have the queen to continue on. So king to f2, which is, I don't know, forced there. So now king to d7, developing my king, which is the best move. And now this, rook to e1 to try and knock this rook out of here because the knight is pinned to this rook. So capture, and it doesn't like that. It says that's a mistake, and now the game is just almost even, just slightly in black's favor. So bishop to c5 check would have been better. So if we take a look at that, bishop to c5 check. Oh man. Yeah, look, I overlooked that one too. Bishop to c5 check. Okay, that wasn't as great as I thought, but it just says, he goes here and attacks me. And then now it looks like either capturing the rook or keeping the rook on the board with something like, let's see here. Yeah, rook to d5, something like that. All right, anyway, so I overlooked that. It wanted me to keep these rooks on the board, but, in this position, it's still, material is even, and looks like he's about to get his knight out and his other rook. So let us go ahead and look at the final moves in the game here. So rook was captured, king captures. Now the bishop attacks the pawn, and it says this is best. I did this to force him to put his other pawn here and have all his pawns stuck on the dark squares, and then I can push my pawn here and try and keep them trapped on the dark squares where my bishop could target them in the endgame. So of course he has to go here to protect the pawn. So I move my rook out to take control of the open file, checking the king. After the king moves, we have f5 locking the pawns on these squares. If he tried to go here and then push this, well, I guess I could just capture that pawn in the front here. All right, so moving on. Now he's going to develop his other pieces. So I push here and it says this is best. I did that to keep him from pushing the pawn, the A pawn forward, and also if he pushed this pawn, it was just to keep him from moving his pawns to the light squares. But I guess he could still do that here, but I would be able to bring the other one up, I guess, either one to protect it. All right, so he jumps in here, the best move, looking to put his knight maybe here and attack my pawns, or here and attack pawns. So I just go ahead and fortify this pawn. He moves this rook, pinning my bishop, and it looks like better would have been to just go ahead and push this A pawn here. So I push forward, and it says that's excellent, but better would have been to unpin my king. But I wanted to get my pawn up there. I guess it would have been better to keep that pawn there to help protect my bishop. So anyway, he moves here, which he can do because my bishop is pinned to the king by this rook. So I move over, it says that's best, but now the game is dead even. So this game should have been a draw. He attacks. Here I just protect, which it looks like the best thing to do would have been to just push his A pawn forward now. Because if I capture, well, then I have all these weak pawns. even though he gives up a pawn. His rook would just be able to come over and try and start picking them off. So knight to g5, attacking my rook. I just move here, which is best. And now his knight is kind of limited on where it can go. It can't come forward anymore, and it has to back up. So he pushes forward, the best move, putting his pawns on the light squares. I attack his knight, and it says that I should have just captured that pawn right there. So that's interesting. I mean, I guess that would give me an extra pawn. He would be able to get it back, but I could push my king forward, maybe swing my rook over here and start attacking. All right. So now he wants to reposition his knight, and it looks like that's the best move. I push forward. It says that's good, but now the game is in white's favor. It says I should have just captured that pawn. So now he pushes forward, and it says that's excellent, but better would have been to get his king in the game and start moving up. So I move my king up towards the center, and now it prefers a5. So the rook comes up, excellent move, but once again, bringing your king into the action in the endgame is preferred. So I just move my rook up, which is good, although it likes bishop retreating here. So now he jumps forward, and let's see, it says this is an excellent move. Once again, it wants the king to come forward. So I capture, and it is saying that it is plus 0.8 or 0.75, depending on what you look at here. And now it's saying white should be ahead here. So the best move is to capture. Oh, and that's the mistake. Yep. He captured with the rook. He should have captured with the pawn. So that was the game-losing mistake, because after I capture, he's left with this isolated pawn that my king can just move over and pick off. And if you're in an end game where you're up a pawn, a lot of times you're going to win. If you can, unless that pawn's doubled, the pawns are doubled up in a weird way. But many times, you can just push that passed pawn that you have in the end game, and the king will be, your opponent's king will be tied down trying to stop it. Okay, so let's, sorry, it looks like I drug this out into another long video. All right, well, let's go back real quick and see what black should have done here. So the best move was to capture with the pawn. Now he has a passed pawn here, but it's isolated. So it looks like the best move by white is g5, trying to push forward here on the queen side, because you push up to g5 here, and that can help prepare an f4 pawn push. And you usually want to push the unopposed pawn if you have a pawn majority, because this pawn will have to capture, then you can recapture and have a passed pawn, although it'll be isolated as well, and the king could probably come down here and pick that off. So let's see here. h3 is recommended as the best move. Okay, so h3, and now it prefers rook to g6. Okay. Oh, and it says that's excellent, but now the computer is, I guess, arguing with itself. It also says that h5. So all of these moves are about even. Rook to g6, a5. So a5. Where's a5? Oh, right here, or h5. So moving either of these pawns on the side. All right, let's, once again, let's try and finish this out. All right, so it prefers that push, then rook to g6 is one of the moves, and then from here, it looks like just moving the king up to g2, pushing over here, king to f3, and now h5, and then let's see, e3. So over here, king to b6, king to b6, and now, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could have, my pawns are doing a good job of trying to stop things here, but I don't know, it's tricky. And it's showing white is ahead here by half a point, but this would be a kind of a tougher end game for black to try and handle here. So before I just dig on into another variation and drag this out, let's finish it up here. So capture, he made that mistake, allowing me to capture, he recaptures. Now my king can come down here, which is best. Then king to f2 would have been a little bit better. But either way, it doesn't matter because I come up here, which is best, and I'll be able to pick off his pawn. So he moves forward, but it's too late. I capture, and now I have the opposition with one square in between our kings. Then his king cannot move forward. And I have this extra pawn. So he pushes forward. Here, it says better would have been to retreat the king, which is interesting because my king could just press forward. So now I play this move, which it says is excellent, but a little better maybe would have been to retreat my king. All right. Well, we didn't play either one of those moves, so he pushes forward instead, and then it says that is good, but retreating his king or moving his king over in front of my passed pawn would have been better. So now we have this f4, the best. So usually you want to push your unopposed pawn in your pawn majority, which is my f pawn. He captures because if you're behind in material, you want to exchange off as many pawns as you can. So here I recapture, and now he has to stop this passed pawn. So he jumps in front of it, but my king just moves over. And it says that's excellent, but moving to a5 here would have been better. Would it make much of a difference? A little bit there. So he has to move back. I press forward. Actually, my opponent resigned. Let's see. So after this, my opponent resigned. So it's saying the game at this point could have continued with him retreating back, me jumping up here, trying to escort my pawn up, moving forward. Yeah, but now that pawn is just going to march up and become a queen. And so he would either have to stop this pawn. Let's go back and take a look here. So if he backs up, which usually you want to back straight away from the passed pawn. Now it's saying king to e4 would be the best move. And I guess I could also move over here and pick off this pawn. So, so many options here. I can just move up. Let's see if it mentions this move. So it says that's a good move as well. But king to e4, there's a mate in 21. All right. Now it's just saying king to e2. But now this just lets me capture this if I want to. And then, although it says I should have just kept pressing my pawn forward. Let's see. And I better wind this down here. Sorry about this, guys, these super long videos. It's saying, king to f3, but, I could just go here. And now there's 2 pawns that he has to stop. So anyway, if we go back and look, the mistake was definitely capturing with that rook and trading his rook off in the end there. So, this was the game losing blunder, I guess, is when he moves here and I capture. He still would have been okay if he captured with the pawn, but he captured with the rook, allowing me to capture, and then my king was able to pick that pawn off, and now I have this extra pawn, and that's the game-winning plan there, is to just push that pawn through or distract him with that pawn and pick off his other pawns. Okay, everybody. Sorry it went so long again. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't liked and subscribed, feel free to do so. Also, leave comments or suggestions. Any requests. Although the holidays are coming around in the end of the year, and I may be a little busier, so I don't know if I'll be able to get a video out every day or not. Bear with me. I'll try and do this more regularly, or as regular as I can, after the holidays and stuff are over, and we'll see how far we can go on this journey in this quest for 2000. Thank you, everybody, and have a super chess day.